Welcome to the Keep Information a walkthrough done by me, Mr. Charles. This video in somehow, some way is going to help you with your journey through your Cape Information Technology IA, either Unit 1 or Unit 2. Just to let you know, the sources of all the information that are inside this video were sourced from 1, the official syllabus, which you will see a link in the description for, 2, the examiner's reports for the old syllabus, because that has a treasure trove of information about how they mark the IAs, and 3, 10 plus years of experience teaching Cape Information Technology and submitting IAs every single year. So, first of all, enjoy. I hope the information helps you. And second of all, I am not your teacher. This is a guide. And because it's a guide, I will give some best practices that I would have seen in the different sources and things that I would have done myself. But if your teacher requires you to do something different, please listen to your teacher, but also read the syllabus and read the examiner's reports. And I hope that you do well in your Cape ITIA. Okay, so here we are in the next phase, and our next phase is the identification of possible solutions. So let's try to go through this identification of possible solutions. Now, with the identification of possible solutions, there are certain things that you must include, and it's nowhere in the syllabus, but only in the examiner's report I've found it. So let me lay out for you the things that they said in the examiner's report that you must have. So here's the image of it. You must have the level of automation. You must have the processing methodology. You must have the network technology. You must have software alternatives, and you must have hardware alternatives. The whole point of the evaluation of possible solutions, identification of possible solutions, is that they want you to come up with, now based on the analysis, you have to now decide, okay, I have found out all of this information and I have proven that there is a problem and I know exactly where the problem is. Now I'm going to come up with possible solutions to solve the problem. Because after you analyze, you're now able to say, okay, I know exactly what the problem is. These are some of the ways that I could solve it. So evaluation of possible solutions is where you actually check to compare them, but the identification is where you have to identify the possible solutions. Now, the syllabus requires you to do what they say at least 2. The reason you wanted to do at least 2 is because evaluation has to do some sort of comparison. I've heard from sources, from other teachers, because remember I told you already started the video, sometimes I'll get the information from the syllabus, sometimes I'll get it from the examiner's report, and sometimes I'll get it from other teachers, that they don't check the third one. So even if you do 3 possible solutions, they only check the first 2. I'm not too sure how true that is. So sometimes I would let my students do 3 possible solutions. One will be computerized, next one will be semi-computerized, and the next one will be manual. I've heard that the manual one is totally not acceptable, but I've also heard that sometimes the comparison between the manual and the computerized gives some context as to how you could solve it the old way but solve it the new way. So in my example, I'm probably going to do 3 possible solutions. The reason I'm doing 3 is because I'm not entirely sure what level the solution's supposed to be at, if they all supposed to be computerized or semi-computerized or even manual, but they may actually solve the problem. So bear with me here, we'll do 3. Your teacher may require you to do 2 only, which is a computerized and a semi-computerized, but for comparison's sake, I'm going to do 3, and it should help you understand why you choose which solution and help you when it's time to justify or choose a solution. That's usually the goal. So these are the things that they want us to do, level of automation and whatnot. Now, in this part of the IA, you have to lay out the solution in some sort of way that's easy for the reader to understand. But they haven't said if it should be in table form or paragraph form or whatnot. What I've learned or what I've realized is that they often they want you to put certain things in tables and they want certain things in paragraphs. And the identification of a possible solution, just because they listed out all of these things that you want here, you could easily put it in a table and say how your solution meets all of these criteria. but the I has some sort of explanation and conveyance of information via writing. So for this part, I usually do identification of possible solutions as a paragraph. However, as I said, your teacher may want you to do it as a table, or may want you to do it in some other particular way. But the point is, the examiner's report asks you for these parts. So what you want to do is you want to put like a subtitle for the solution, and you call it solution 1. Now if you give it a name, you could say fully computerized and build a website, or fully computerized website. If you give it a full a name, that whatever, that's your choice, no problem. Depending on the teacher that you have, he may have some sort of explanation like that. But usually I'll give it at least solution 1, solution 2, solution 3. If you break it down further, that's okay with you. So we need to get a level of automation part. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get these sets of things here clearly laid out in some sort of communication. So let me see if I could give you a gauge here. This solution requires the cafeteria to create a website that clearly shows the menu for each day. The owners will update the information on the website via a content management system that allows them to set the menu for the week in advance and publish it. So from this statement here, I've clearly shown that there's some sort of automation. There is a publishing methodology for the website. So allows them to send, So this publishing methodology now shows that, okay, there is automation taking place, meaning once you publish the thing on the website, it will go up and it will stay for a week. That's good, right? And then the processing methodology, now you want to put some sort of paragraph or something inside of it. The workers will have access to a login to a username and password that allows them to modify certain parts of the website where the menu is located. That now gives me some sort of processing methodology now, because I'm showing the process that it's going to go through for the information to be changed on the website. Because remember, my goal is to create a website that the students will be able to go to see the information, and when they see the information, they'll know if they're going to the cafeteria or not, and they will be able to choose quickly because they know what they're going there to buy, because they don't have to look at the chalkboard. Because remember, through all our analysis, we have figured out that there's a problem with the information. People take long because they take long to choose what they want because they don't know what's being sold. Therefore, there is a line because of the amount of indecision due to the lack of information that's taking place, right? So I've covered something along the lines of level of automation with one sentence. Then I've covered processing methodology. Now, because it's starting to look long, I could continue the paragraph or I could start a new paragraph, because there is another part of it which is now network, software, and hardware. Because network and software and hardware, they are parts of what an information system is, we want to now kind of give some sort of insight as to how the information system is going to take place because of this website. So let me put this in here. So let's go to a new paragraph. Let's say network technology now. Okay. So in order for this to happen, meaning a possible solution, in order for this to work efficiently, the cafeteria needs to have a computer that is connected to the internet so they can access the back end of the website and update the information. The internet connection should be a high-speed broadband connection that is reliable and allows them to upload pictures and maybe videos to adequately showcase the menu to the users. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to throw in some technical terms, because you know this is for marks, right? And because it's for marks, you have to show that you know the technical terms. These are some of the things that you learn in module 2. And you trying to show them that in this IA, I'm not just doing this project for doing its sake, but I actually know about technical things when it comes to HTML, when it comes to a website, when it comes to servers and access and those other things. I know about that. So I want to mention things like broadband, reliable, uploading pictures, storage space, because it's a solution, and the solution has to be clear in terms of to a technical person and to a non-technical person that you know what you're going to do, right? So that is the network technology, right? Now, they clearly said that they want you to put software alternatives sometimes, or the software alternatives, or the things that you could use, or the hardware that you would use. So we could put in something along the lines of the software that they use. You could use the HTML, or you could code it like straight HTML and put all the information in from scratch, use JavaScript and everything. Or you could use a content management system like WordPress, or you could use a template that they have in advance, something like that. You could do all of that. So when it comes to mentioning what they describe as software alternatives, you want to be able to say, you want to say something about the software that's being used, right? So the software the software technologies that can be used range from HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to the software technologies that can be used range from HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to a content management system like WordPress, where the user can use turnkey. Turnkey is a word right here. That's a term that is used to like turnkey, meaning it just works automatically. Turnkey solutions or turnkey plugins to implement the website. The choice of software would depend on factors such as budget and technical capability. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the video and you're going through it and you're enjoying the knowledge that you're getting and you're learning things that you didn't learn before. But if there's some things that you're still not too sure about, or you may not be getting the help that you need because of the type of project that you're doing, you could check us out, and we do have dedicated IA assistance classes where Mr. Charles, I will give you personal help for whatever you may need, because you just may not be too sure depending on your situation. Some people may be doing it on their own, some people may not have a teacher, some people may not be able to go to school. So you can check us out, WhatsApp 1-868-308-8799, or you can go to the website makeITsimpleTT.com/register. Now, why we're looking at software is because they want you to see that in your identification of a possible solution, that you know that this possible solution could be done in different ways, and you have alternatives of how it's going to actually be implemented. Because then, when you get to the evaluation, I believe what they want you to do is to evaluate the solution and the little bit of flexibility that you have with respect to the type of technology that you use. They want some sort of analysis to show that you understand which one you're going to use. More than likely, your teacher is going to ask you to write the HTML code for the website. They may not allow you to use WordPress, but some teachers may allow you to use WordPress because it's easier and it might be cheaper for the cafeteria in the end. So when we get to evaluations of possible solutions, we'll kind of look at this a little deeper. And then you would be able to say something like, hardware-wise, the cafeteria may be able to use a laptop with a stable internet connection, or they may choose to set up a desktop to have a central location for updating content. Each of these can be used, and it would be up to the managers to decide how they are implemented, but they all implemented. Yeah. However, the use of a laptop would would allow them to be mobile and update the content from any location that has a good internet connection. Right. So I kind of rambled a little bit. I kind of ran through it a little rough. Usually this part of your IA teacher has to kind of work with you a little bit to smoothen it out, to make it more cohesive and coherent. But what you have to make sure you do is you have to make sure that you have these parts here: processing methodology, network technology, software alternatives, hardware alternatives, because that's what they ask for. And sometimes it's unclear to students why did they ask for that. But you would realize that, well, they have a goal and they have something that they want to clearly get out of you. And yeah, they want you to be able to come up with a system that will solve the problem. So that's solution 1 for me. So now let's go for solution 2. And solution 2, I'm going to put semi-automated, and using off-the-shelf software. So what I want to say is this solution involves, remember, I'm trying to get the first part, which is level of automation, sorted out, right? Level of automation and processing methodology. This solution involves using a laptop computer that is connected to a TV in the cafeteria itself. The workers the laptop would have Microsoft PowerPoint installed. Hold on 1 second. Huh? Alright, so I'm gonna go back through that part, right? Alright. This solution involves using a laptop computer that's connected to the TV in cafeteria itself. The laptop would have Microsoft PowerPoint installed, and the staff would be trained on how to use it to display the menu in the form of a slideshow. So that there is going to give us a sort of, when you're dealing with level of automation and processing methodology, we have the level of automation that there is going to be a slideshow, and we want to show that, okay, it's going to automate. The slideshow would go through all the items on sale for the day and show the prices clearly. Every day, the staff members would update the slides on the laptop, and this allows them to have the correct items on display in advance. Because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to take what you found out from the analysis, and some of the things that we found out in our analysis is that people don't see things in advance, so you will have to show that, oh, this solution is actually solving the problem that I pointed out in the analysis. So keep in mind what the analysis was, because now you're coming up with a solution that will tackle the problems that the analysis pointed out. Okay? So the next part now would be, okay, let's say I have level of automation and processing methodology. That's kind of clear in the statement here. Now I have to show if there's any network technology. This solution does not require any networking, as it is a stand-alone computer that is displaying to a TV, right? Yes, I spelled require wrong, but I normally have typos and then just go and fix it after, right? Yeah, displaying to a TV. Now, what you want to do is, if there's no networking, cool, you just tell them that there's no networking, but there's hardware and software. So now we could go into the software and the hardware, right? The PowerPoint software can be set up to change slides automatically, videos and images can be inserted, and if it does not, can be inserted. If they cannot afford the software, a free alternative like Google Slides can be used, although this may require a network connection. So we're showing software alternatives, we're showing how the software will work, something like that. The computer or the laptop used should have a relevant connection to be able to connect to the TV. Of course, you'll probably have to massage this because I'm typing it as it comes to my head, but there's probably a better way to say this. Example, HDMI. This would allow for the display to be seen in high definition the TV that has to be used should be let's say a 55-inch plus screen, which would, yes, let's see, the size of the screen would help people to help with aid in visibility, which was one of the issues that came up. Right. Yeah, I will most likely go over this paragraph with a student and try to say, okay, you have all the key things there. Let's just tweak the way you express it. Let me just use some different words. Let's use some different verbs and nouns and that kind of thing. Yeah, but the point is, all the things that are necessary inside there. We met the criteria of speaking about level of automation, how it's going to be automated, the processing methodology, what is the process of getting the information to the correct place, the network technology, the software alternatives, and the hardware alternatives. And this is 2. So the third one, which is totally optional in my view, is solution 3. Solution 3 is a manual one. The reason I put this in is because I want to show that, okay, there is a way to solve it by changing the whiteboard, changing the blackboard to a whiteboard or some kind of thing like that. So you could come up with a manual solution and put it there, because it just gives you some sort of context of where they are at and what they could get to. So when we get to the evaluation of possible solutions, you have something to compare. So I'm not going to go through the whole manual solution, because the manual solution is basically just tweaks or modifications to what they're doing right now. But I want you to see that there are the key things that are necessary for identification of possible solutions, which is level of automation, processing methodology, network technology, software alternatives, and hardware alternatives. And just to read what they have on the examiner's report again, is they said, ideally this section should include level of automation, processing methodology, network technology, if any, software alternatives, and hardware alternatives. And they have a lot more to say about this in the examiner's report. And I just think that you should go to the examiner's report and read some of the things that they have, because this part here is always cloudy in most teachers' mind, because they're not too sure exactly how to express it. And the examiner's report, sometimes it contradicts themselves in certain things, but I know for sure, once you meet those 5 things, you should be able to get the 2 marks that I believe this part of the solution has. So keep in mind that there's a lot of technical terms that they're looking for inside here. So you have to be able to use technical terms, bandwidth, broadband, speed, connectivity, devices, laptop, hardware, software, things like that. That's what you want to put in this part. And you're going to rely on a teacher a lot to help you smooth it out and make sure that you are putting forward a solution that actually makes sense, because at the end of the day, the possible solution has to make sense, and it must actually be implementable based on what you know about technology. So you can't talk about things like Bitcoin and crypto mining and all these technologies that you want to try to be like, you want to sound cool because you're putting it in your solution. No, make sure the solution is solid, and that's why they give you this list of things that will be able to follow through on how it's actually going to work. So that'll take us to identification of possible solutions. Next video, we will deal with evaluation of possible solutions, which is our next kind of gray, hazy area in terms of how they want you to do it. But I'll show you from the examiner's report what they tend to look for and how you implement it. So look out for the next video. I hope this helped you. I hope it helped you. And always remember, a teacher is supposed to be guiding you through this. So when you even do this, make sure your teacher understands this is what you're trying to do so that they'll be able to help you. So see you in the next video, right? Thanks for watching the video. I hope it helped you a lot. Remember, there are multiple videos that go through each different part of the IA in details. If you want a particular part that you're looking for, you can check the playlist. The playlist link will be in the bottom here. If you're using the app, you can check in the app and you will see the playlist for it also to show you all the parts that are necessary. If you're looking for quality information technology and computer science classes at the Cape level, you can check us out, makeITsimpleTT at 1-868-308-8799. Or you can check us online at makeITsimpleTT.com/register and use all of our free resources. But if you're looking for a class that has recordings and explanations for every single thing that you need to do in the whole syllabus, you can check us out.